$3. That is the total cost of the passive dew collection device that ancient engineers used to supply entire settlements with clean drinking water, and that modern households can rebuild today with materials from any hardware store. The device is a passive atmospheric water harvester. Its job is to pull water molecules directly out of the air around you, condense them, and deliver them into a collection vessel, without filters that expire, without subscription services, without monthly bills, and without a single moving part. In a world where the global bottled water industry is valued at over $350 billion and climbing toward $500 billion by the end of this decade, a technology this simple and this inexpensive has almost no commercial sponsor. There is nobody selling you replacement cartridges. There is nobody charging you for installation. That is precisely why you have never seen it featured on the shelf at your local home improvement store. Before you dismiss this as fringe survivalism, consider the institutions that have taken it seriously. DARPA, the advanced research arm of the U.S. Department of Defense, launched its atmospheric water extraction program specifically to develop field-deployable systems capable of supplying clean water to 150 soldiers from ambient air alone. The U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy contracted brine-based atmospheric extraction technology from TerraLab in 2022 for emergency deployment scenarios. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has evaluated the technology for disaster response. MIT's research group under Professor Zhuanhe Zhao published peer-reviewed results in 2025, demonstrating a window-sized passive panel capable of harvesting clean drinking water from desert air at humidity as low as 30%, using no electricity, no batteries, and no fans. These are not hobbyist experiments. These are programs funded by governments that need solutions that work when municipal infrastructure fails completely. Now consider the market math. The global bottled water industry generates more than $350 billion per year from selling you something the atmosphere gives away for free. The average American household spends between $400 and $1,200 annually on bottled water alone. The water treatment and distribution infrastructure in the United States is a multi-hundred billion dollar system that depends on continuous consumption fees. A technology that allows a household to harvest clean water passively from the air at zero marginal cost does not fit the business model of any major player in that ecosystem. The technology is real. The physics are settled. What has never been funded is the consumer education that would tell you how to build one yourself for the price of a fast food meal. The concept is not new. It is ancient. In Greece, during the classical period, roughly 2,400 years ago, engineers constructed passive stone structures called air wells, specifically designed to exploit the temperature differential between cool subterranean rock and warm, humid air. These structures required no pumps, no energy source, and no maintenance. They worked by placing a large, thermally conductive surface in contact with the night air, allowing the moisture in that air to condense and flow by gravity into a cistern below. Entire communities in the Crimea, in northern Africa, and in the Canary Islands used passive dew harvesting structures as their primary water source. The Incan civilization of the Andes constructed fog catchers called atrapa niebla, using woven fiber nets stretched across hillside frames to intercept coastal fog and funnel condensed water into irrigation channels. In the desert regions of the Negev, Nabatean engineers between 300 BCE and 100 CE built stone cairn fields across their agricultural lands. Researchers who excavated these fields found that each stone pile functioned as a passive condenser, producing enough dew overnight to sustain the root systems of crops in one of the most arid environments on Earth. The first scientific documentation of the dew harvesting principle in the Western literature came from Friedrich Wilhelm Dove, the Prussian meteorologist who described the thermodynamic basis of dew formation in his 1837 work on the laws of storms, establishing the formal connection between surface temperature, dew point, and atmospheric moisture yield. The military applications did not stop with ancient stonework. During the Second World War, the United States Army Corps of Engineers deployed improvised condensation collectors in Pacific theater operations to supply drinking water to isolated units when resupply by air was impossible. The Namibian fog basking beetle, Onimacris ungicularis, was studied formally by British zoologists in the early 1970s and became the basis for a classified biomimicry program at the UK Defence Science and Technology Laboratory, which analyzed the microstructure of the beetle's back, a pattern of hydrophilic bumps surrounded by hydrophobic channels, as a model for passive water collection surfaces. That research directly informed the design of materials now used in military emergency water collection kits. In the description of this video, you will find a complete manual with the specific construction measurements, the precise material specifications, and the seasonal adjustment protocols that determine how much water your local climate can yield. Information that took years of field testing to compile. Here is how you build the simplest functional version. The core component is a passive condensing panel, and the total material cost is between $2 and $4. You need 1 kilogram of food-grade silica gel available at any craft or hardware store in the range of $2 to $3 per kilogram. You also need a sheet of aluminum window screen, approximately 30 by 60 centimeters, which you can cut from a standard roll for under $1, and a clean collection tray. The silica gel is spread in a thin, even layer across the aluminum screen. This assembly is mounted at a 15-degree angle facing the prevailing night breeze, elevated on any frame 30 to 40 centimeters above the collection tray. Silica gel is a desiccant. Its molecular structure has an extremely high affinity for water vapor. As humid air passes over the surface overnight, the silica gel absorbs water molecules from the air and holds them. In the morning, when the surface temperature rises with sunlight, the adsorbed water is released as vapor and condenses on the cooler aluminum screen below, dripping by gravity into the tray. This passive cycle, absorption overnight and solar release in the morning, is the same thermodynamic principle exploited by the Nabatean stone fields and the MIT hydrogel panel. The geometry scales. A 1 square meter panel in conditions of 50% relative humidity at 20 degrees Celsius will yield between 100 and 300 milliliters of water per day. At 70% humidity, yields climb to between 400 and 800 milliliters from the same surface area. A 4-panel array, which you can build for under $12 total, produces between 1 and 3 liters daily in a temperate climate. The silica gel recharges itself in sunlight and can be used indefinitely. It does not degrade, it does not expire, it does not require replacement. For filtration, the collected water passes through a second layer of silica gel in a closed container, which removes fine particulate matter and atmospheric microparticles, and then through a small piece of activated carbon block, available for under $2 from any aquarium supply section, which removes any residual organic compounds and produces water with a clean, neutral flavor. The total system cost, including 4 panels, collection trays, silica gel, and activated carbon, is under $15. A commercial atmospheric water generator from brands like Drinkable Air or WaterGen costs between $1,500 and $50,000, depending on output capacity. A standard residential reverse osmosis system installation runs between $500 and $2,000, not counting filters. A bottled water delivery subscription costs between $30 and $120 per month. The DIY passive harvester costs between $2 and $15 total, produces clean water continuously, and has no ongoing maintenance cost. The silica gel for a single panel, $2 to $3 at any craft store, hardware store, or online retailer. Search for food-grade silica gel indicating desiccant. Avoid colored indicator silica gel that contains cobalt chloride, as that compound is not suitable for water contact. The blue indicating variety uses cobalt chloride and should be avoided. White or orange indicating silica gel is appropriate. The aluminum window screen is available at any hardware store by the linear foot. Cut the piece yourself. Activated carbon block filters are available at any aquarium section or online for under $2 for a quantity sufficient to filter a household's daily water yield indefinitely. Millennia before the first water treatment plant was engineered, before the first plastic bottle was manufactured, before the first municipal pipe was laid, human beings on 5 continents had solved the problem of clean water with a flat surface and the night air. The Greeks understood it in stone. The Nabateans understood it in cairns. The Incas understood it in fiber. The Prussian meteorologists formalized it in mathematics. The U.S. military tested it in the Pacific. The researchers at MIT proved it in the desert. The technology has never been lost. It has simply been commercially inconvenient. Every drop of water in the atmosphere above your house right now belongs to no utility company, carries no monthly rate, and requires no permit to collect. What the ancient engineers knew, and what the bottled water industry prefers you forget, is that clean water is not scarce. It is suspended in the air a few meters above your head. If this changes how you think about water independence, share it with someone who needs to know. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next.